Good morning, everyone. Today's session will start. Today's session. It's been 5 minutes late. So, as I said in the last class, if you have any doubts, you can raise your hand at the end of the session. Okay. And, first of all, congratulations to the participants of the quiz. So, stands like this: first place, second, and third. 4 people also participate, and I congratulate the runner-ups also, 4th and 5th places, top 5 people. And I wish the same participation, same enthusiasm and number of participants and contestants in the future quizzes which we organize until college reopens. Don't ask me when it will be reopened. It will be reopened as soon as possible. Then coming to today's contents, we will discuss again small contents which are already discussed, but to understand about the depth and frequency irrigation, for example, to understand this depth and frequency of irrigations, we require to understand and brush up the basic concepts of soil moisture constants and wilting point. So these two topics are required to understand and discuss about the depth and frequency. After discussing these two topics, we will go to the problem solving based upon depth and frequency, based upon efficiency. So we'll combine all the concepts so far we discussed, and we'll solve a couple of problems. And at the end, we'll have a quiz, live quiz. I will display a question to solve, and you can solve the problem with your normal calculators, mobile calculators, but a pen and paper is required. So keep it ready with you at the end of the session. And after that, we'll discuss the syllabus, main topics of the second part of the syllabus, means 4th and 5th and 6th units. Then we'll wind up the session. Okay. So please enter your roll numbers, everyone, in the chat box. If still anyone is just joined or to enter. Dedeep, you're on. Okay, this is Sandeep. Okay, fine. Voice low undi sir. Speaker deggaraga pettukondi. Try to increase your volume also. I am trying my best. My mic is here very near to me only. Chakri Verma, I will try. Otherwise, you can use the headphones rather than using the speaker of your mobile. I'm trying my best to give the volume. Once my head is down, the voice will be more. Since I'm talking straight, it is less. Once I lower my head, it will be easy. Okay, getting to the topics. Enough of discussion. And let me share. Right here. So we'll discuss the first one, that is soil moisture constants, why they are required. Okay. So the purpose of soil moisture constants. Wait, it's not coming. Wait a second. Right, now it's coming. So why it is required? The soil moisture constants purpose is to define the relationship, or to determine, if you want to find out how the water or moisture or present in the soil is going to be affect the growth of the plant or yield of the plant. So all these things are required to understand by using the soil moisture contents, right? So it is significant in relationship between soil moisture and plant. So unless you know the significance between the soil moisture present in the soil and what type of plant you are going, so it will be tough to you to determine the yield of the plant. So you should know what are the different types of constants. Chakri Verma, is it audible now? Chakri, is it audible now? So as you said earlier, it is not audible. Is it audible now? Right, fine then. One more thing, everyone received a news saying that Zoom is not a safe platform. No one should use that one, and you people started using them in the status, saying that why our college people are still using that Zoom, right? For that, the solutions are coming up. We have the plans, different plans. We are trying different platforms to execute. So online classes is not going to be stopped, but we will stop using the Zoom most probably from next week onwards. Monday onwards, we'll use other platforms to give the lectures, but we are not stopping the online classes. Keep it in mind. The online sessions will continue, but only thing is we'll change the platform from Zoom to remaining platforms what we are planning for. Hope the results will come forward, and we will shift the platform. And once it is set, uninstall the Zoom in your mobiles. Once we decided, and once the platform is fixed to give the lectures, so we will say that no need to use anymore the Zoom. So you can uninstall after receiving the message from the HOD sir. Okay. So get into the topic. Coming to the saturation capacity. So saturation capacity is defined as the total water content of a soil. So it is soil when all the pores of the soil are filled with water. So saturation capacity means complete saturation. There is no third phase, only the soil, and it is filled with water. Soil and water is only present. There is no other medium. So soil is red color, blue is the water dots. So this complete medium is filled with only two elements, that is water and the soil. Then we call it as completely saturated medium. And coming to the field capacity, what is field capacity? Because you should know these things to understand about the next contents. So field capacity is defined as the maximum amount of moisture which can be held by a soil against someone is started writing. Guys, develop participation annotation done. Clear. Against gravity. So this is the moisture that can be held by the soil against the gravity. For example, suppose we have given the moisture to the ground. Okay, so the moisture is given to the ground. Now what happens? Some moisture will go as a runoff, some moisture will go as a deep percolation, right? Some will be retained in the soil after meeting all the losses. So that is retained by the soil. So the moisture which is retained by the soil against the losses. Now the losses are due to the gravitation only. We are not considering the runoff. We are considering only losses like against the gravitation. So deep percolations will be considered and runoff will be neglected. Means the surface retention water will not be counted when you are finding out the field capacity. So the maximum amount of moisture that is held by the soil against the gravitation is called as field capacity. And next, coming to the next topic, permanent building points, different types of building points. We discussed already in this class, in the regular class sessions. I hope you can remember all these things. Permanent building point, temporary building point, and ultimate building point. So is permanent building point is defined as the amount of moisture. So we are discussing all definitions only. It will be little bore in the beginning. So once you enter into the problems, it will be easy it will be interesting to discuss and solve the problems. Okay. So amount of moisture content present in a soil when the plant is plants become permanently wilting. Okay, so the amount of moisture we call it as permanent wilting point. So at a particular moisture content, the plant will completely die, which cannot retain its original composition, like physical condition, like greenery, healthy conditions. So it is not completely die, which will turn out into brown color and it dries up. So that condition we call it as wilting point, and that wilting point happens when the moisture contents drop down to a particular case. So that point where the plant loses its minimum requirement of moisture availability, then we call it as permanent wilting point. Beyond that moisture, if that moisture is not existing or available for a particular point, for a particular plant, then the plant will die. That dying conditions we call it as wilting point, and that cannot be retained. So we call it as permanent wilting point. Okay, and then we go to the permanent temporary wilting point. So now you can understand against to the permanent. So the moisture, so that level of the moisture available in the plant is average. If it is going beyond that level of the minimum level, then that will convert as a permanent. So our moisture level ni maintain chestu unte, we are not giving more, we are not going beyond the minimum conditions. You are maintaining the minimum conditions required for a particular plant. Then we call it as temporary wilting point conditions. That means the plant look like it loses its physical condition, it loses its greenery, and everything is lost. But once you give the moisture, everything can be regained. That condition we call it as temporary wilting point. So if you added the moisture, due to that existing given moisture, the plant can regain its physical conditions. Then the point we call it as temporary wilting point. And then ultimately we call it as ultimate wilting point. So ultimate wilting point and permanent wilting point will have the same conditions, but little bit differ with respect to the permanent and ultimate. So completely wilted, so I read the statement. When ultimate wilting occurs, the plant are completely wilted, that is, the plant die away and they cannot recover from wilting even after adding of the water to the soil. So even you give the water, it will not regain. So ultimate wilting point and the same when expressed as a percentage in terms of hygroscopic coefficient. So generally, if the water percentage is beyond 67%, if it is case required is 100% and water availability is 67%, then we call that condition as a ultimate wilting point. The plant will going to die. So we should maintain minimum 67% of moisture in the soil so that the plant will not die and it can able to take the conditions. Right. Still entering the repeat once repeat the definition of ultimate wilting point. Okay. So the ultimate wilting point is similar to permanent wilting point. Both are same, ultimate or permanent. The only thing is their definition of little deviation. So in terms of permanent wilting point, we are not discussing about the percentage of moisture required to maintain. But when comparing to the ultimate wilting point, you are talking about the percentage. So that is the only point differences. So if you consider the moisture existing in terms of physical conditions, you are talking about the greenery, you are talking about the plant condition, nutrition conditions. So if you consider only those parameters, we talk about the permanent wilting point. If we add the moisture percentage in terms of in addition to the physical conditions, you are adding the moisture availability conditions in the soil. So we have talked about this 67%. If you are talking about the numericals, in addition to the physical conditions, then it is called as ultimate wilting point. So the slight difference between the permanent and the ultimate wilting point. And coming to the available moisture, you people know better about this available moisture. So the available moisture is the moisture that soil between, the difference is the moisture content moisture content of the soil between this difference in moisture content of the soil between the field capacity. Whenever I write FC, it is a field capacity, so understand, and the permanent wilting point. So the difference between the moisture content of the soil, available moisture content of the soil, and the field capacity, we call it as permanent wilting point. So we will discuss all these conditions in a diagram, which we discussed already in the class. We'll discuss this one in the clean diagram so that you can understand better. So now one more point here I'm adding: soil moisture constants, depth and frequency. Understand this one. Soil moisture constants, we have permanent wilting point, temporary wilting point, ultimate wilting point, available moisture, readily available moisture, all these things we have, right? So these comes under the soil moisture constants or parameters. Now I am linking with this with respect to the depth and the frequency of irrigation. When we will go for the frequent irrigation, so when we will give the water to the field, how much you will give the water to the field based upon the soil moisture constants. So unless you know the soil moisture constants, you can't define how much of depth has to be given, how many times you have to give the water to the field. So the basic concept is soil moisture constants are required. So I'm drawing this again, so for your better understand. So consider a field, a time scale, B days. What is a B days? Base period from when the crop is sown until the harvesting point, right? So at the 0th day, at the first day, there is a moisture content in the field, the full capacity, the complete saturation state. Okay, we call that as field capacity. So the complete soil is completely filled. This is the moisture. What is the first one? Vertical scale is moisture content in the soil. Horizontal is the time. Now I am considering the time as a B days, expected B days. That means from 0 day to harvesting day, or before harvesting day, or before harvesting moisture. Okay. Now, based upon these cases, wait a second, I will erase these things so that you can understand better. Okay, so now I'm taking this moisture. So at the time 0 days, the complete moisture in the soil is available. There is no chance of excess water. Complete water is gone runoff, and excess water has been gone as a gravitational water. Now the complete soil is having moisture to its complete, all portions are filled. So that fielding conditions we call it as field capacity. So that is called as field capacity. So this line which denotes the top line which denotes the top line, that is the field capacity. So 0th day, full moisture is available. So the complete moisture is available. So this is a full capacity. That means the soil will be completely filled with the moisture. Now as the time progresses, what happens? As the time progresses, there is a chance of decreasing moisture in the field. Soil will lose its moisture. So it will lose its moisture to the bottommost point. Once you give again irrigation is given, the moisture will be raised to the field capacity. So the lowest point, until when we have to wait for the moisture should be completely used by the plant which is available in the soil. Once it is depleted completely, then we have to give the moisture. Then only it will be very good for the soil to maintain its fertility, as well as plant can also take the, wait a second, still someone is entering. Is it any doubt? Fine, roll number center. So now like this, once you give the moisture, it will regain its field capacity. Again, after some time, it will loses its capacity. Moisture will lower down. Again, it will be increased by giving the water. So as the time progresses, we are giving the water. Again, the water is depleting due to the plant growth or evaporation losses, whatever the losses, the moisture available in the soil is going to lose. Again, you are giving the irrigation. So like that, it is a cyclic process. Now, if you see the top one, you will better understand. So there is a level for any soil. There is a level, we call it as permanent wilting point. That is a moisture level. If that level is crossed, the soil is not going to give any moisture to the plant. So that is the soil which is holded by the soil, surface retained by the soil, so it cannot be taken by any plant. So that moisture available in the soil, which will lead for the permanent wilting of the plant. So now, little above that, we have a lower limit of readily available moisture. So that means that is a moisture which is available in the soil, which can be taken readily by the plant, but that is the lowest available limit. So topmost elevation is, that is a top elevation, topmost available moisture. So in between the field capacity and the readily available moisture, field capacity and readily available moisture, that moisture we call it as readily available moisture. This is the lower limit, this is the field capacity. So the difference between the field capacity and the lower limit of the readily available moisture results you the readily available moisture. So that is a very important point to understand, because that is the only moisture that can be taken by the plant without any stress. So once the moisture is lowered and reached to the lower limit, now we have to give the irrigation to the field, so that the water again rises to the field capacity and the plant can take that readily available moisture. Now, the moisture which you are giving between this field capacity and the lower limit, that is called as depth of irrigation. Every time how much of moisture you are giving, which is increasing the availability of the moisture in the soil. So that we call it as readily available moisture and depth of irrigation. So this depth of irrigation can be calculated only when you know what is the field capacity of the soil, what is the holding capacity of the soil, what is the lower limit of the soil, and permanent wilting point of the soil. So each soil will have different characteristics or different values of these four: field capacity, readily available, lower limit, and the permanent wilting point. So you should analyze the soil before you are taking that any irrigation in that soil. So unless you know, you can't determine how much of depth is required for a particular soil when you are using in combination with any plant. So plant and soil, so these two should be kept in mind when you are finalizing the how much of water should be given and every irrigation. Now second point, frequency of irrigation. So now if you see, this is the first watering gap, right? For example, I had considered this scale as B days, right? So in these B days, how many times I'm giving water? Please see. So this is the already existing moisture, right? It will not be counted. So now the water is lowered. Now to bring it to the readily field capacity, I'm giving the moisture. So this is first irrigation. And again moisture is down, I'm giving again moisture. So second irrigation, we are giving second time supply. Again third. So how many times are given? This is given for 3 times in the duration of B days. For example, I consider it as a B days. So the frequency is 3 times per B days. For example, we have given 5 times in a gap of 30 days. So the frequency can be calculated as 5 by 30. So 5 ones, 5, 6. So 1 time for every 6 days. So the frequency is 1 time for every 6 days. So counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th day. So we are giving the frequency. Again 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again on the 6th day, you are giving again another frequency. Now for consider, So this is the 6-day gap. Again, this is the 6-day gap. So like that, for every 6 days, we are going to give the water or irrigation. We call it as frequency. So frequency here in this case is now 6 days. And depth of irrigation is the difference between the field capacity and the lower limit of the readily available moisture. So this is about this depth and frequency of irrigations that I want to explain, and we'll get into the next one is the problems. And before going to the problems, I want to ask you one definition, that is can you tell me what is a definition for crop period without googling it? Since you have multiple tabs, you can check it in the Google also, but without checking in the Google, please tell me how you can define the crop period in the chat box. Chat box, please. Crop period. We discussed this in the class also. So please don't Google it. Be genuine and answer the question. Sowing to harvesting. Let's see. Okay. Any other answers? Sharan has given his answer. Good. It is the time. Okay. Right. Monica, good answer. Just I want to see how many people are following so that I can go forward. Rihanna, right? Correct answer. Rohit, correct answer. Sandeep, done. Abu, correct. Large. 146, don't use a word like enlarge. Just it is enough time period between X to Y. So in between enlarge is not required. H1 done. Okay, fine. So we will move on to the next. We have a problems to solve. See, my request is if anyone got, if anyone get that alert, extend the meeting. So since it is 11:30, next 10 minutes we'll get the alert. So please click on that extension because I am on the another tab. I'm not on the Zoom. So I may not be able to see that alert. So if anyone gets that alert, please extend that one. Right. Okay, fine, Rohit. Thank you for that. So we will move on to the problems. Again, as I said earlier, please ready with your pen, paper, or mobile calculator, whatever it is possible. Right. We'll solve the problems now. On the sewing. Okay. Fine. We will solve this one. Determine the field capacity of soil for the following data. Depth of root zone is 1.8. Is it able to see? Is the screen is visible to you? The question. If it is yes, please tell me it's in the chat box so that we'll move on. Right, fine. So we'll solve this problem and we'll go back to the another problem. Okay. So the depth of root zone is 1.85, 1.8 meters. We discussed already what is the depth of root zone. Existing moisture in the soil is 8%. Dry density of soil is 1450 kg per meter cube. Quantity of water applied to the soil is 650 meter cube. And water lost in the due to the deep percolations is 10%. Area to be irrigated is 1000 meter cube. Okay, so this is the solution, and they ask you to calculate. So they ask you to determine the field capacity. FC has to be calculated. So we'll solve the problem one by one. First, we'll write the data. So solution. So volume of total water. Okay, I will share this. So the question is okay, right? So I'm going to the next one. Right. Volume of total water applied is 650 meter cube. Done. And water wasted is 10% in the form of deep percolations. Okay, so 10% of 650, how much it is? It is easy to calculate. 65 meter cube. Okay, now water used in rising moisture content up to the field capacity. See here, water used in rising moisture content up to the field capacity. As I said earlier, field capacity is the topmost level. So now they are asking, there is a wastage. Now how much went into the soil? So given moisture is 650 and loss is 10%. Now how much of moisture is utilized? So automatically subtraction between these two. There, right? So 650 minus of 65, which gives me 585 meter cube. Right? So that is the water which is used to rise the moisture content up to the field capacity. So by considering the losses. Now depth of water used in rising the moisture content. So they are saying, the question is saying that existing moisture condition is already there. So this is the moisture which is given, and there is already existing moisture in the soil. So how much it is? The 8%. So depth of water used in rising moisture content up to the field capacity from the existing 8%. So now we have to calculate this 585 meter cube in terms of depth. So how much of depth of moisture was given, so that this much of volume is given to the soil, and how much of depth is increased in the soil, moisture developed. So that can be calculated by 585 meter cube divided by area of the field. So that gives you 585 divided by the area in the question is given as area to be required is 1000 meter cube. Okay, so 0.585 meters. So that is the depth of moisture given to the soil from the irrigation. So now they ask you to calculate field capacity, right? So what is the field capacity? Field capacity is the difference between the depth of moisture required minus depth of moisture given. Okay, so ఎంత మాయిశ్చర్ ఫీల్డ్ సాయిల్లో ఉంది ఆల్రెడీ, దాని నుంచి మనం ఎంత ఇచ్చాం తెలిస్తే యూ కెన్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద ఫీల్డ్ కెపాసిటీ. సో ఫర్ దట్ యూ రిక్వైర్డ్ a equation to be noted down. So field capacity can be calculated for that, but water depth required at root zone of depth D, if I consider as the root zone as depth D, increase moisture condition is given by equation. So this is the equation you have to remember, because in the last class I said we will discuss the equation to calculate the depth of moisture, but we didn't discuss the topic. So directly I'm using that equation here. Most probably that is useful for only problems, no derivation is required. So to calculate the depth of moisture, remember we are discussing the formula for depth of moisture required. Depth of moisture required at the root zone. If you want to calculate that value, we require to know the equation. So which is given by rho d or gamma d by specific weight of the material into upper limit of moisture condition. So now what is the upper limit? That is our field capacity minus lower limit of moisture condition as a fraction. Okay, so now we have to calculate rho d by W. So now we know depth of water required. So as per the depth of water required, it is already given that the depth of water required is, we calculate as 0.585, right? It is already numerically calculated. We determine depth of water. So now we have to calculate the field capacity. This is called influence. So which is nothing but upper limit is field capacity, what they ask to calculate. So now they have given the density of density of soil is given, right? Density of dry soil is given as density of dry soil, it is not the moist soil. Dry soil is given as 1450 kg per meter cube, and specific weight, we can use the specific weight of water, right? And we know the lower limit. So lower limit is what is the lower limit means here? Understand the problem carefully. So depth of density rho W, you know, upper limit you have to calculate, and now lower limit is means the moisture which is already existing in the soil. So that is called as existing in the soil, which how much percentage? 8% is already existing, which can be written as 0.08. So that is a existing percentage. So now we know what is rho d, we know W, we know lower limit, and we have to calculate the FC. So by using the formulas, and finally the FC value is, I'm going directly the value, I'm not discussing completely. So FC, field capacity, from the equation, when you solve the remaining things, it will be like 0.224 minus 0.08, so which is equal to 0.144. So when you convert that into percentage, so into 100, which is called as 14.4% field capacity. So this is one of the important method, not in our syllabus, but in competitive examinations, as well as maybe it may be asked in the external examination. So we can't say, because it touching the contents, it is one of the point of the content. We'll field capacity, moisture content we are discussing, right? So they may ask you to solve such problems also. So how to calculate the field capacity? This is an important formula to remember, again and repeating. So to find out the depth of the moisture required, we require density of the soil, and specific weight of water, upper limit of the moisture content. In the graph earlier we discussed one graph. Upper limit is the field capacity, lower limit is the lowest moisture, lowest percentage of moisture available, readily available moisture in the soil, that we called as lowest moisture. Somebody is messaging. Still entering people. Fine. And so that is about the problem. And we'll move on to the next one. So I will show the that problem question. So this is a problem. If anyone want to note it down, you can note it down. Otherwise, after how many days you will supply water to soil in order to ensure sufficient irrigation of the given crop if field capacity is 28%, permanent building point is 13%, dry density is 1.3%, and effective root zone is 70%, so 70 centimeters. Daily consumptive use of water for the given crop is 12 mm. So please understand. So field capacity of soil is, that is a complete moisture that can be stored by the soil, that is 28%. Now permanent building point is lowest moisture available, that is beyond that which cannot be taken by the soil. So now the readily available moisture is 28 minus 13, right? And dry density, and coming to the dry density of the soil, 1.3 gram per cc they have given in terms of gram per cc. You have to convert them into kg per meter cube or whatever the requirement you have. Effective depth of the root zone is 70 centimeters. Daily consumptive use of water for given crop. Consumptive use means, so crop taken by the moisture taken by the plant, evaporation losses combined together, we call it as consumptive use. So now if any data is required, you can assume them. So they ask you to calculate after how many days you will supply the water to the soil in order to ensure the irrigation efficiency. So you have to calculate them. So we'll get into the problem solution. So we know that by definition, the available moisture can be calculated by, I will share the screen please. So solution of the problem. So we know that from the definition, the available moisture is equal to, field capacity minus of permanent wilting point, right? So what is the available moisture? 20. The field capacity is 28. Permanent wilting point is 13. So available moisture percentage is 15%. So now available moisture is 15%. So let us assume that readily available moisture is 80% of the soil. So they said that assume some values if required, right? So we are assuming that readily available moisture as 80%. 80%. Okay, readily available moisture of available moisture. Understand this, readily available moisture as 80% of available moisture. So now the existing moisture in the soil is 15%. Out of that, 80% is readily taken by the plant. If you plant any tree or any seed in that one, out of 15%, 80% can be readily taken by the soil. A remaining thing is taken, holded by the soil as a surface retention. So we are assuming that out of 15%, 80% can be taken by the plant if it is grown. So that is means the readily available moisture is 80% of 15%. That is 80 into 15 percentage, that is 12 percentage. So now 12 percentage means therefore optimum moisture is equal to 28 minus 12, that is equal to 16 percentage. So this is, it means that the moisture will be filled by irrigation between 16 percentage and 28 percentage. So that is the percentage of moisture that can be given. You have to maintain the moisture between 16 percentage to 28 percentage, and you have to calculate the depth of water required. So for that, depth of water stored in root zone between these two limits. So now same formula, depth of water is equal to rho d by physics అయినా వేసుకోండి లేకుంటే density into d. Two things, if you know the root zone depth, you can use in between d. If you don't know, you will take it as 1 meter. So that is the only difference between previous problem and now. Okay, rho by d and field capacity minus optimum moisture capacity. Again, I am repeating the concept. ఇంతకు ముందు ఫార్ములాకి డెప్త్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ స్టోర్డ్ ఇన్ ద రూట్ జోన్, అక్కడ ఇంతకు ముందు డెప్త్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ రిక్వైర్డ్. సో డెప్త్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఈస్ డిఫర్ ఫ్రమ్ డెప్త్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ స్టోర్డ్. సో ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ there are two formulas. Depth of water required, that is the formula rho d by specific weight into upper limit minus lower limit. Okay, here depth of water stored in the root zone. So there are two different cases. So in this case, depth of water stored, we will use rho d by gamma w into d. So where d is the depth of the root zone into field capacity minus optimum moisture capacity. So now in today's class, we have two formulas. One is depth of water required and depth of water stored. So these two formulas are different. So don't get confused and don't mix up the things. So now we know what is rho d. Rho by d, so gamma d by gamma w is equal to, can be written as rho d into acceleration due to gravity and rho w into g. So gg gets cancelled. So rho d by rho w. So they have given the density of dry soil as 1.3 grams per cc divided by, so you know that 1, right? For water it is 1 gram per cc. So finally the value is no units, without no units, the ratio, the proportion between these two is 1.3. So in the place of rho d by gamma w by gamma d by gamma w, we'll use 1.3. So that is equal to 1.3 into depth of root zone in the problem is given as 0.7, and field capacity, we know that is 28%, writing it as 0.8228 and optimum condition is 16%, rating it as 0.61. So therefore, calculate the value in terms of centimeters, please. Depth of water stored in the roots in the chat box. Okay, Monica. Okay, fine, correct. Any other answers? In terms of centimeters are required. Karthik, please check that one. I asked you for centimeters. Bhaskar, answer is wrong. Try again, Bhaskar. Karthik, okay, correct. T. Karthik. Rohit, please check the value. Just simple thing, right? Don't multiple, differentiate first. Find out the difference and then multiply it. Bhaskar. Abu, how you got that value, man? Rohit Kumar, again, please check the answer. 0.28 minus 0.616 into 0.7 into 1.3. That's all. Okay, fine. So we'll move on to this one. So finally, the depth of water stored by the soil at the root zone is 10.92 centimeters. Now from this you can calculate, hence the, so now consumptive use is how much they are saying. The consumptive losses is what is it? So consumptive uses, sorry. So therefore, moisture available in the soil for plant growth plus evaporation losses. So now these evaporation losses and plant growth together we are calling it as consumptive use. So therefore the moisture available for consumptive use is 10.92 centimeters. Now what the question is? The question is to calculate the depth of, wait a second. The question is to calculate how many days you require to use this moisture. Okay, so wait a second. So therefore 1.2 centimeter of water is utilized by the plant in one day. So therefore, so this is an assumption, or the problem statement is given as like this. Daily consumptive use of the plant is 112 mm. The question is clearly given that daily consumptive use of water for a given crop is 12 mm. So that means 1.2 centimeter. So if a plant can take 1.2 centimeter for one day, so now how many days it will take to take 10.42, so 492, 10.92. So 1.2 centimeters per one day. So how many days it will take to a plant to take 10.2 centimeters? You please calculate that. Chat box. Okay. Rohit, right? You can Rohit, you can take it to lower level. So since it is 9.1, you can't go to the highest level. So it is 9. Monica, okay. Bhaskar, okay. Only few people. Yesterday it was huge. ఓకే ఫైన్, నో టర్నప్స్ టుడే. చాలా బిజీగా ఉంటున్నారు అందరూ ఈరోజు. చరణ్ 9.13, how? It's impossible, Charan, to get 13 value. So those are the problems for today. And as I said earlier, we will have a quiz online, straight forward quiz. So the question is on distribution efficiency. So in the last quiz also we had a formula for distribution. So I am displaying the answer, the question to you, and I will take 2 minutes for you, or again 3 minutes. After that, post the answer. The question is this. Wait a second. So depth of penetration along the length of the border strip irrigation at points 30 meters apart were probed as 2, 1.9, 1.8, 1.6, 1.5 centimeters. Compute the water distribution efficiency. So I'm giving a hint for you. The hint is there are 3 points. They have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. They have taken 5 points. Similarly, at a distance of 30 centimeters each. Now at first point it was 2, at second point it was 1.9, and third it was 1.8 penetration, and 6 it was 1.6 penetration, and at the 5 the moisture is penetrated to a depth of 1.5 meters. That means for example, if we take 2, 1.9, 1.8, 1.6, 1. So the penetration is like this. The water penetrated into the soil. So now you have to calculate the distribution efficiency with respect to, by using the equation ND is equal to 1 minus of Y by D. So anything else in the chat box, please? Okay, fine. Sorry, I didn't give the share. Sorry. Is it possible? Is it visible now? Yeah. So again, I will explain the hint. The question is, see that one, there is a three elements. At different points they have taken the readings. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 5 locations they have calculated the what is the depth of penetration of moisture in the field. Okay, so at one place it was 2, at one place it is 1.9, it is 1.8, and it is 1.6, and other one is a 1.5. So now with this, for example, if you draw a line, it will go like this. This is the depth of penetration of the moisture in the field. Now you have to calculate the distribution efficiency by using the formula 1 minus of Y by D. You can check with the previous sessions discussion, and there we have discussed the same problem. So again I am saying D is the average depth, so that means you have to average all the values, and Y is the deviation, average deviation. That means at Y1, Y2, like that you will get 5 values. So now at Y1 you have to calculate what is the deviation from the average value of D, from D value minus of that 2. Similarly you have to calculate the deviation of D average minus 1.9. So like that you have to calculate for all the 5 Y's, and then do the average for 5. Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3 plus Y5, like that up to 5, divided by 5. That gives you the Y value. Already we are having the average D value. Use the D value here, and don't consider the negative or positive signs. Just consider the value. If it is 1.3 minus 1.2, positive. If it is 1.2 minus 1.3, generally it should be written as negative, but we consider it as positive. I require the final value. I didn't have the d values and y values with me. I have final efficiency values. So please calculate the efficiency and let me know. So I will wait for you. No problem with that. Meanwhile, I will also do my parallel work. I have another works to do. Dilip and Rohit, I am not having the values of D and Y with me. Just calculate the efficiency value and tell me the efficiency value at the end. No, Karthik, it is not 84.77. You are near, but it is not correct. Okay, Chandeep Kumar, but it is not in terms of percentage, Chandeep. Please check that one. Rakesh, why you posted the value in everyone's? I said to post it privately, na? Fine. It is revealed. The answer has been revealed by the Mr. Rakesh. And but still it can be exactly. Alright. Chakri Vamma, you also posted in everyone. Monica answer wrong. Chakri Vamma, Rakesh, Chandeep, right, Surya, correct, Surya Khadir. Fine. So that's all about the quiz. We'll come back to the syllabus now. Discussion of syllabus for the second mid. Important topics. So, okay, please stop your answering and you can try it later since time is running out. So now you may ask me the first question that, sir, will be there any exams after reopening, or will the government promote us to the next semester directly without any exams like that? So don't keep any such things in your mind. There will be surely, completely, genuinely exam will be held. Same process what we are following before shutdown will be followed again. So there is no discounts or anything else. So don't listen to any news or any fake news in the newses what they are giving. I don't know what they are taking with the schools. Those are the schools. So no problem with that. But third year students, second year students will definitely have the mid examination, will have the semester examination once the college is reopened. So you should keep in touch with the subject and don't feel that the papers will be corrected very smoothly, very you say that chala easy ga liberal ga chestaru ankokundi. Same things will be followed as we are following. So no such things will be considered. So keeping in mind that you have a lot of time to prepare still. So brush up all your things. Don't feel that you are not having your books with you. So books are available in your hands. You're holding that book with you, that mobile. That's it. The mobile is a book for you now. Search on the mobile, you can find out the textbooks, you can like make a note of the topics. You can do anything with the mobile, right? The world is in your hand. So that's what I want to mention here. So don't think that there will be a time for you to prepare after college reopens. As per the source of information, the exam will be immediately after reopening the date. Means if it is opened on, for example, suppose on tomorrow, day after tomorrow we'll have the examination, maybe 1 or 2 days gap, that's all. So that is, keep it in mind, prepare everything. So coming to this one, so whatever the syllabus we highlighted in the blue color, those are the topics which are important for theoretical part. So coming to the fourth unit, floods, in which you have a theory part. Sir, I lost the connection for 3 minutes. So if there is any important in the 3 minutes, please tell me. Or nothing, we discussed only one problem, which is just a quiz. When the online classes will end, sir? So there is no end, Sandeep, just we started, and we are planning for a schedule also, repetition classes also. We don't know when it will be ended. So if you are feeling tough to attend the classes, take excuse, no problem. ఇప్పుడే ఎప్పుడు ఎండ్ అవుతుంది అని అడుగుతున్నారు. స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి 4 days అవుతున్నాయండి, రైట్? సో you can take a screenshot of this one. I'm not explaining much about this. The blue colors are the theoretical part, and the yellow colors are the problem important things. Just I will explain. So in introduction, we have types of methods: rational method, empirical method, unit higher method, different methods to estimate the flood intensities. So those methods may be asked to explain in theoretically, and we had a problems on Gumbel's method and the log Pearson type 3 method. So those two methods are also important in problem point of view. And when you see the remaining topic of the chapter, I feel that this risk, reliability and relief may be asked as a question. So please find out this content of risk, reliability and safety factor much detail on internet, because textbook is having very less content, so it may not be possible for you to write a complete big question if it is asked for 12 marks. So my request is to take this as a consideration and finding in the internet. Coming to the 5th unit, we have groundwater conditions, groundwater availability and conditions. In these aquifer types of aquifers and aquifer properties are very important. So geological formations of as aquifers. So that means types of aquifers and their properties like specific gravity, density, porosity, different things. All these things are important in terms of so aquifer properties should be highlighted, right? Aquifer properties and geological formations. Types of aquifers and their properties are important in theory. And equation of aquifer, equation of motion, we have two things like Thiem's equation and Depute's equation in study condition and unstudy condition, but we discussed the study unstudy condition only, so go with that, that's enough. So Thiem's and Depute's equation of motion, which will have Thiem's and Depute's equation, which are required to solve the problems, and problems are very very important under this equation of motion. So wells మీద problems అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయండి. So please practice the problems very well on wells. Oh, very good, fine. So coming to the that's the thing what I want to say. Last one, seawater intrusion and recharge. So seawater intrusion and recharge, so they are different topics. So how the seawater intrusion can be like disadvantage of seawater intrusion, they may ask as remedial measures to come against the seawater intrusion, and then causes for seawater intrusion. So like that, most general questions may be asked on that. Similarly, recharge also, so different types of recharges that we do to increase the groundwater condition. So these are the important topics in the groundwater. So one is So we have 4 concepts on theory, 1 concept that is equation of motion on derivation, 1 concept that is Wells problems. Okay, and coming to the last one we discussed, and this is very theoretical part. The complete subject mottam meeda, this is the only chapter where we have a lot of theory content. We can't say which one is asked, which can be asked, which cannot be asked. But in my point of view, I felt that necessity and importance is one of the important topic of the chapter. Unless we know what is the necessity and importance, studying about the remaining concepts is useless. So necessity and importance, and one more thing, we have written the assignment like advantages and disadvantages of the irrigation. So these 2 topics, necessity and importance, advantages and disadvantages, are very important, and followed by types of irrigation, not the methods, types of irrigation. So different types: water check method, basin method, flood irrigation method, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, all these things we have, right? So these topics are very important. Again, emphasizing in the types, we have 2 major types. There is a drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation. So they may ask you to explain the drip irrigation alone for 6 marks. They may not ask you the complete types. So they may ask you to explain the drip irrigation or sprinkler irrigation. If you're having a good fit, then they will ask you only to explain the complete types in general. So that's all about the theory part. That is the first half. And coming to the next one, crop water requirements. We have crop water requirements, CIR, net water requirement, CIR, NIR. Like that, we have crop water requirement problems. And coming to the next one, duty delta, factors affecting duty delta. Very important concept of this chapter. So if you see this chapter, you have to get 2 questions from this chapter, right? So I will take this chapter as 2 parts, up to the crop water requirement, after the crop water requirement. So crop water requirement part varaku oka chapter anukunta nenu. Crop water requirement tarvata we will consider it as another chapter. So if I consider that way, then necessity and importance, types of irrigation and crop water requirement is important in my perspective. And coming to the next half, from the duty delta. So derivation of duty delta is very important, and they may ask you to write what are the factors affecting the duty delta, how you can overcome. So factors and remedial measures of duty delta, and how we can calculate the efficiency, a problem on efficiency. So we have 3 chances of 3 different questions in a single topic. Irrigation efficiency, as I said in the last class, very important topic. So you can't escape from that. So keep it in mind and solve the problem on irrigation efficiency as much as possible. And last one is a depth, waterlogging and causes, very important. So waterlogging and causes, we discussed in the class, but still you have to build up the theory content for that a lot, because causes, remedial measures, and factors affecting. So these things are very important in view of waterlogging and causes. And standards of quality of irrigation water, we discussed already. Crop water, crop rotation is not much thing. So this is my perspective, which I feel that these are the contents are required in theory and the problematic for the second mid examination. So in the first mid examination, you already discussed that, so no need to repeat it again. In the repetition classes, if anything is planned, we will discuss these topics which are highlighted now. So based upon these requirements, we will arrange them in order, and we will discuss only topics which are felt important in each chapter, highlighted in blue and yellow. So light blue and yellow, and the same things that is the things which I want to explain. So repetition of classes. So we defined the definitions completed, frequency irrigation completed, we discussed the problem, we had a quiz, and we discussed the syllabus overview. So that's all from my agenda, and I'm going to unmute you. If anyone is having any discussion to do, you can talk to me. Okay. Please. So I'm unmuting everyone. Is there anyone having any doubt? I'm not unmute. I didn't unmuted you, Chinni Krishna, you're talking on. Please wait. No. If anyone having any doubt, you can raise your hand. I will unmute as many people are busy. So if I unmute, they will start overlapping their voices. So if you have any doubt, you can unmute. Okay, I'm going to unmute Abu. Right, Abu, what is the doubt?
Sir, yesterday I asked one doubt, sir.
Yesterday you asked one doubt. Yes, due to delta relation, in the time itself I said that we will discuss the topic in the repetition class. That's what I said also now.
Okay, sir.
Second topic, whatever the topic you asked, it was in under the highlight condition. I said that that highlighted topics will be discussed in the repetition class, which are important. So we'll discuss, no problem, Abu. Anyone else? That's all, Abu. Abu, your voice is breaking. I can't hear you clearly. Okay. Any other else? Right, Vishnu is having. Right. Vishnu.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Vishnu, tell me, Vishnu.
Thank you, sir.
Someone raised. Monica. Yeah, Monica, what is your...
So difference between readily available moisture and available moisture.
Readily available moisture and
Available
moisture. Available moisture means already pre-existing moisture in the soil. That is the lowest moisture availability. So what is a moisture which is available in the soil before giving the watering? మీరు వాటరింగ్ ఏమి ఇవ్వలేదు, నేచురల్గా సాయిల్లో ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ మాయిశ్చర్ ఉంది. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ అవైలబుల్ మాయిశ్చర్. దట్ మే నాట్ బి టేకెన్, మే బి టేకెన్ బై ద సాయిల్. సో దట్ లోయెస్ట్ పాయింట్, మీ గ్రాఫ్ కానీ చెక్ చేశారంటే మీకు షేర్ చేసిన గ్రాఫ్ ఇంతకు ముందు, వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ లోయెస్ట్ మాయిశ్చర్ అవైలబిలిటీ వాటర్ ఇన్ ద సాయిల్. సో లోయెస్ట్ readily available moisture in the soil, that we call it as available moisture. Moisture అయితే ఉంది కానీ that is not able to taken by the soil. So now we have to give the moisture to the plant so that the moisture can be raised in the soil, and that excess moisture which is available in the soil can be taken by the plants. So that we call it as difference between available moisture and readily available moisture. Abu, you having again doubt?
Sir, first one A వచ్చి saturation capacity కదా సార్. B and sir side heading.
B.
Yes sir.
Wait a second, please. Soil moisture constants, in that we discussed the soil saturation capacity.
లేదు సార్, ఏ వచ్చి saturation capacity, ఇంకా B side heading ఏంటి సార్?
Field capacity.
Sir?
Field capacity. FIELD.
Okay.
Field capacity.
Okay sir. Okay sir.
Anyone else?
Thank you sir.
Right. Anyone else, please? See, if you have such discussions, Revant Kumar, I will remove you from the session from next onwards. Please don't post such messages. Even though you post to any other person, I can see that in the chat box. So please be polite when the class is going on. Revant, please. Where are you, Revant? Okay, fine. Everyone, those who are available online, please enter your roll numbers in the chat box once again, so that we will close the session. Meanwhile, if anyone is having any doubts, you can ask me. And I want to share one point for you, which is, please see my screen. Wait a minute. Since you are staying at home, I want to give you one. I will log out this. Take 2 minutes. Give a time for me. Since people are very less, you will be patient to listen to me. Right. I'm sharing a screen for you, which will be useful for you. Please see that one. Meanwhile, remaining people, start entering your roll numbers in the chat box. Right. Those who are interested in learning any course which is related to the civil, any discipline, like if you want to learn the Excel, if you want to learn PowerPoint presentation, if you want to learn how to give a confident lecture in before a people, anything it may be, out of the box or in the box. So this is the platform where you can learn. That is Udemy. Udemy is a category. I'm not promoting that. Again, I'm saying I'm not promoting any website here, but I felt that this is very cheapest website which will give you the learning platform. So again, at the end we'll have a certification. So this is for those people who are not having any certification, like in AutoCAD, Architectural, Revit CAD, MS Excel. So all these things, when you are posting in your resume, generally in our resume we will keep these skills which you know, like AutoCAD I know, Revit, GIS, MS Office, like that we'll put some software knowledge in our resume. But up to that point it is okay. But once you screen for interview, they will ask you the questions on that, and they may ask you to provide the certificates of the proof for that. So you can't simply post them in the resume. So for that, to have a certification, this is the best platform. Sitting at home, you can learn. At the end of the course, you will get a certification. Exam, yes, there will be exam, but there is no grading like a pass, fail, like that. Once you are not able to get exam good mark, you can again you can again retake the exam. Right? Is it possible to see everyone is those who are in the online, please చూస్తున్నారా అండి? కనిపిస్తుందా వెబ్సైట్ మీకు? Is it yes or no, please? Wait a second, please. Last note. Right. So now only thing you require to do is just search your course, like for example AutoCAD. Those who already learned but still you want to brush up your things, you can do this one, AutoCAD. Sorry. AutoCAD. So there are a lot of courses in there. How to choose the course is very important, because if you see in the left side, we found 1486 results for the AutoCAD in this website. But most thing is you require to filter them. So filter them is most relevant, most reviewed, highly rated, newest. So better, my option is go with the newest rather than going with the ratings, because if you choose the starting newest one, what it deals is it will show you the newly added course with a new software. For example, if you take a old one, they might use AutoCAD 2017. If you take a new one, they may use 2020 to explain you the software. So in that case, so it is better to go with the search option. So in the search also you can filter them, AutoCAD 3D, AutoCAD Civil 3D, like that. So just I am taking the AutoCAD for now. Once the results came, so I'm going with the civil engineering application, AutoCAD, all levels. So level is also there. So if you don't know anything, go with the beginner level. If you want anything, go with the complete levels. So if you see here, a complete AutoCAD 2018 to 21, the cost of the course is 7,900. It is a very important point to consider. So 790 rupees మేమేం చేయాలి సార్ అంత డబ్బులు ఎక్కడ ఇస్తాం. So if you learn the same AutoCAD in any of the institute, it will cost about 5,000 for the course itself. And your staying, your lodging, your boarding, everything goes around 10,000, 15,000. So my suggestion is, since you are staying at home, if you are having the laptops, better to use a course, because you will learn the course as well as you will practice. Sir, మా దగ్గర ల్యాప్టాప్స్ లో ఏం చేయమంటారు? Okay, no problem, listen to the lectures for now. And once you purchase this course will be in your account for a lifetime. మీకు అకౌంట్ ఉన్నంత వరకు యుడమీలో మీ అకౌంట్లో ఈ కోర్స్ యాడ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ బి ఎక్స్పైర్డ్. 790 రూపీస్తో ఒకసారి కనుక్కున్నారు అంటే ఆ వీడియోస్ అన్ని మీ దగ్గర అలాగే ఉంటుంది, మీ సర్టిఫికేట్ మీ అకౌంట్లో అలాగే పడుతుంది కోర్స్ అయిన తర్వాత. సో ఇఫ్ యూ సీ దీస్ వన్, సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ ఈస్ 18 total hours, 186 lectures. It is for beginner. So like that we can see 7.9 hours. So which means it is very short course. So as the length of the course is high, total hours is large. That means the course is more deeper. So like that, choose the content. So again, open the any course, for example. So how to check the content also. So see this, the course is for 18 hours, 16 downloadable resources, and full-time access means lifetime you can access to the contents. You can check with the mobile or TV apps. So you will have an app like Udemy in the Google Play Store. You can install that, and certification on the completion. So now you can see what we learn and what they will explain. So now you can see the course content. So introduction, structures of the course, and limits, displaying, creating drawing, modifying drawing, status bar. So complete basics are available in this course. How to dynamic settings, practical drawing, final notes, everything is there. So final notes will have a assessment in that. Sometimes may not be, assessment will not be there. So once you complete the course, it will be very easy to get the certificate. This is the way how to get the certificate for the content which you are not having earlier. So like this AutoCAD. And again, one more thing you have to check for is when it was updated. Last updated is April 2020, means it is very recent one. That's why they are using the AutoCAD version as 2018 and 21. See, the same things you can get in the YouTube also. YouTube lo kuda meeku courses dorukutayandi. All the chapters are available, all the contents are available. But only thing is, where is a certificate? So if you are not having a certificate proof, then this is the best platform to get the certificate course. So pay that one, add it to your course, and complete the course and get your certification. So that's similarly you can get Architect, Revit, all the software which you want, Excel also, and like that you will get all the certification courses here. And this is the platform which I felt very friendly, and also I'm doing some courses in this platform for now. I'm also learning the AutoCAD, I'm also learning the Excel, I'm also learning the programming languages, few 5 or 6 courses in progress. So that's what I want to share with you. Since this is the last session, we may not get the same chance again. So use the time and learn the certification courses. That will help you to get a good job. So is it okay? Shall we move on? Shall we close the session? I don't know how many people are online. Okay, it is dropped to 23. Fine. Okay, fine. Goodbye.